You ready? Yeah!
Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, the right Hebrew word for the cantor is Ba'al Tefillah, a master of prayer. The mission of a cantor is to lead in prayer. The cantor does not stand before the ark as an artist in isolation, trying to demonstrate their skill or to display vocal feats. They stand before the ark, not as an individual, but with a congregation. They must identify themselves with this congregation. Their task is to represent as well as to inspire a community. Within the synagogue, music is not an end in itself, but a means of a religious experience. Its function is to help us to live through a moment of confrontation with the presence of God, to expose ourselves to God in praise, self-scrutiny, and in hope. As I reflect on Rabbi Heschel's understanding of what a cantor is, I feel like he is describing our wonderful cantor. Cantor Martha Novick knows what it means to be a cantor, what it means to be a master of prayer, to create moments of communal singing, moments of musical meditation. She has helped us connect with the divine, comforted us with her voice, lifted our spirits with song. Tonight, she once again will do that. And she'll get a little extra help from some of the musical programs and people she has brought to our synagogue. Our choir and Nicotino, our Shabbat Alleluia band, Rob Holtzman, Barry Merritt, and our special guests, Cantor Bob Abelson and Cantor Gabrielle. We're so glad that you are joining us tonight. And we hope that you sing your hearts out tonight. If you're joining us online, we hope that you use the chat box to wish Cantor Novick blessings. I already see that your cousin from Amsterdam is tuning in as well. It's late there too, so there you go. And I will make sure to share all of the blessings this weekend. start our service on page 128. We'll be using the numbers in blue in brackets. Please join with us. Service on page 138 as we welcome our Sabbath bride to the words of Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On the final verse, I invite you to rise and face our sanctuary doors. Please be seated. Continue on page 140. Continue our service on page 121. It's my honor to invite up our B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow, Joel Hoffman and Cindy Wagenheim and their families to join us on the Bima as we bring even more light to our congregation this evening as these wonderful B'nai Mitzvah students lead our congregation tomorrow.
Shabbat and with light to all who behold us. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness becomes us, the reason to live with, the kingdom of light, so may we, come and say, we will not
Joel and Cindy. Tomorrow you'll be reading from the Torah portion of Naso. We continue the census of the Israelite people. It's really important that we count each of the tribes and each of the people in those tribes to see who is here. So tomorrow we get to count you, the two of you, as you become B'nai Mitzvah on this bima. And I am going to count on you to lead a congregation filled with your family and friends, with strength and power, which I know will happen. But I'm also going to count on you to carry on our rich Jewish tradition with great pride and with great spirit, because I know the two of you will. So I'll also talk to you and your families on this really special day.
So there is a Hebrew teaching, Aseh lecha ra v'kneh lecha chaver. Find yourself a teacher, make yourself a friend. And Martha, you are a gift. You are my friend. You are my mentor. You are my confidant. And you are my treasure. But I know that my feelings are mirrored by everyone who knows you. And thank you for the gift of knowing you. And I'm so grateful to you, Rabbi Prophet, Rabbi Cal, and Golden, who were able to be here today. Thank you.
That candle blessing, which sung so beautifully, was something. Page 144, the hot seat.
Amen.
to page 146. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Arami. Please be seated.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. You shall speak of them diligently unto your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them upon the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates.
We continue once you've taken your seat on page 100. The Shamru calls to mind the relationship between Israel and God. The root of the Shamru means to guard, to protect. What are we protecting? Shabbat, of course. And why do we protect it? Shabbat is the covenant between God and us. The Sabbath is a weekly act of love. When thinking of sacred covenants, one cannot help but think of Cantor Novick and Temple Emanu-El. For 36 years, her voice, her soul, her heart have guarded and protected us. Like Rabbi Krasnod, I too sought inspiration from Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. As no one else, Heschel wrote with such eloquence about the importance of the role of the cantor. He wrote, "Cantors dedicate their lives to the art of leading our people in prayer. Indeed, of all religious acts, prayer is the most widely observed, and it is the task of the cantor to create the liturgical community, to convert a plurality of praying individuals into a unity of worship. Each Shabbat, Cantor Novick transforms us from a room full of individuals, here for any number of reasons, into a sacred community, praying with one voice. This Shabbat, we celebrate our covenant with Cantor Novick. And so tonight, we not only sing the Shamru with her, but to her. Page 162. to invite our B'nai Mitzvah, Sydney Wagenheim and Phil Hoffman, who join us on the bima to lead us. I ask the congregation if you are able to please rise. You may be seated.
Well, I've had one of the great surprises of my life. Martha is moved to the left because I'm deaf in my right ear. So sing all you want. That's right, perfect. I always keep the rabbi on the right.
And Cantor and I were classmates, beginning our studies in Israel together, and she knows how well I sing.
It always affirms my job security when you sing.
My pleasure.
She
We take a moment to let the prayers of our heart. We continue on page 371. Vishavera Avotino Vihimo Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah Uli Avaret Et Ahuli. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. We call to mind Gabby Buckman, Sharon Neese, Ari Brockman, Sharon Zidney, Gary Donner, Sheila Rich, Thelma Wertheim, Sheila Lasker, Daniel Stern, Felix Lee Ben Yitzhak, Jill Sebastian, John Giardina, Charles Alfano, Sherry Barnett, Phyllis Edmond, Kim Olson. And to those names, I invite you to share now out loud or in your heart those for whom you are praying. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Oh,
Joel to join us on the bima as we prepare for the words of Kiddush. It's the sweetness of this moment that we like to mark. And so we want to see the sweetness of this moment that you got to be with Cantor Novick. So if I say something that relates to you, I want you to rise and remain standing. So if you're related to Martha, I want you to rise. You got her? Yes, awesome. Yes, they are quite late, unfortunately, but they'll be here to celebrate tomorrow. We look forward to that. You were a bar or bar mitzvah, but a mitzvah of the Cantor Novick, please rise. If you were confirmed with Cantor Novick, please rise. If you went to New Orleans with Cantor Novick, please rise. If you worked with Cantor Novick, please rise. If Cantor Novick did a baby naming for you or a wedding for you, please rise. Keep on standing. If you participated in a social action project, a mitzvah day with Cantor Novick, please rise. Yes, if you were on the temple board with Cantor Novick, please rise. If you were on our search committee, I think Gene Rosner, watching online, and I think other people in the rapids here was on a search committee for Cantor Novick was. Oh, Steve Parkin, awesome. You brought us Cantor Novick, wonderful. If you have celebrated the high holidays with Cantor Novick, you have been at a Shabbat with Cantor Novick, I invite you to rise as well. And those joining us online, we have many people online. We have Steve Diamond from Naples, Florida, says, my family remembers when Cantor Novick started, and they're thrilled to be online to see her last Shabbat. I'm so proud to have her as our Cantor, wishing you all the best. Other greetings from across the country. Debbie Shapiro, Shabbat Shalom to all Cantor Novick. We will miss you beyond word. We encourage you to share some sweetness in our chat box as well. Joel leads us in Kiddush on page 120. Amen. Please be seated. In an article from the New York Times on September 8th, 1991, entitled Women Gaining Acceptance as Cantors, many of the first 10 women in the United States invested as cantors were interviewed. Cantor Martha Novick was one of them. She's quoted in saying, when Cantor Martha Novick of Temple Emanu-El in Westfield first heard of a female cantor, she said, "I was not very inspired or moved. I grew up with wonderful male cantors." She said, "This was so different." I can tell you, Martha, those words will never be spoken about you from anyone who has prayed with you, who has sung with you, who has been supported by you. You have inspired and moved us. Tonight, we come together to honor your 36 years of serving this sacred community. You have been more than our cantor. You have been our teacher, our guide, and our friend. This moment of transition, as you enter the next stage of your cantorate, it's only fitting for us to look at our Jewish text for guidance. And we don't need to look too far. In next week's Torah portion, we will read about the first retirement in Judaism. God spoke to Moses saying, "This is the rules for the Levites, the priests. From 25 years of age and up, they shall participate in the workforce, in the service of the tent of the meeting. But at the age of 50, they shall retire from the workforce. They may assist their brother Levites at the tent of meeting by standing guard." At age 50, the Levites had to retire from the grueling work of overseeing the Israelite sacrifices, and assembling and disassembling the tent of meeting. Yet our Torah teaches that they were still present. They did not stop being part of the community. Their legacy remained. Their previous efforts were praised and celebrated. Martha, the same goes for you. I'm sure you won't be too unhappy sleeping in on a Shabbat morning. You have put your sweat, your voice, your time, and your heart into this position. And all that creativity and thoughtfulness, all the energy will not be forgotten. Your legacy is vast. You will always be a part of this community. For that, we are eternally grateful. Cantor Novick, we bless you. As God blessed our ancestors on their journeys, so may you be blessed as you embark on the journey of your retirement. May you find rest and challenge, quiet and adventure. May you be sustained by the achievements of your work life and inspired by the possibilities of what lies ahead. May you allow yourself to experience silence and rest. May you open yourself to the new music that may emerge. Tonight, we have lots of people to share blessings. It is my honor first to invite our congregant and our state senator, John Bramnick, who is always available by a phone call or a text to share a few words this evening.
New Jersey is known for rough and tumble politics, but occasionally we take a break from raising taxes and arguing on the floor of the legislature. So last week, I had the opportunity to introduce a resolution honoring the cantor. And just by accident, I spoke to Governor Murphy, just so you know, we talk quite a bit despite the fact we're on opposite sides of the party. He said, "What are you doing this week?" I said, "I'm going over to the temple to honor the cantor." He said, "Well, tell me a little bit." I said, "Well, she's had the same job for 4 decades. And they still like her?" We're not used to that in politics. politics. Well, he said, tell me a little bit more, because he's a good man, though we may disagree on things. He said, tell me a little bit more. I said, she's helped thousands of kids. And not only that, she warms the soul of people every week and every day for 4 decades. And in New Jersey, there are times when we come together, and we did last week on the floor of the legislature, to honor a real true leader in the state of New Jersey. And though I'm not going to read this resolution, I am going to hold it up and tell you that this is from 9 million people in the state of New Jersey, because they're represented by 120 representatives. And 120 representatives and the governor are here tonight to say thank you to one of our true leaders in the state of New Jersey. And I'll call her the Honorable Cantor Martha Novick.
It's my honor to invite Cantor Abelson, one of Martha's mentors, to share some words.
To paraphrase Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, there is a time that seems to be set for everything. Well, this is a special time, this hour. As I sit here and stand, as I sit here, I have to sit sometimes, never. Don't worry, above the neck, I'm in great shape. I've been honored to come here on this special time to celebrate Martha Novick. And I want to acknowledge my colleagues there, my wonderful young cantors. And I want to really acknowledge one of the great musicians I know, Pedro Aquinas, who is on the faculty of the Hebrew Union College with me. And he has been gracious enough to come here and to play our duet. But anyway, well, I want to tell you something about Martha and us. And Martha's become one of our closest friends. My wife out there and myself, we consider her one of our closest friends. We love her dearly. And well, I want to tell you about how we met. You see, in the early 80s, I took over a class at the Hebrew Union College, joined the faculty, and there was a time, and it wasn't much later, or much earlier than the time where the first women cantors were appointed, and then there was the first woman rabbi, Sally Prieston, and we have Sally Prieston's cantor right here, and they celebrated her 50 years in the rabbinate. Well, this was the time, but I was surprised when I was called to take over, to join the faculty of the Hebrew Union College, and there were women there. I even made a mistake. I got there, I said, girls, wow, they almost killed me. So there was and I felt like the older, anyway, there was a time not long after, and anyway, I was assigned a few student cantors. I had to coach. That was an honor. Well, it was wonderful. Well, and so I looked, and who did I get first? What's her name? Oh, Martha Novick. Wow. I didn't expect a great voice, a wonderful musician, a woman who understands the depth of prayer, who understands the Ivrit. Aunt Kalu, I learned from her then. I'm still learning for her now. Really. Anyway, in the ensuing years, we sang together, and we did concerts together, and as a fellow faculty member, we worked together. And she was a distinguished member of the faculty. Anyway, now the role of a cantor traditionally is what we call a shaliach tzibur. He represents a congregation in prayer, and shaliach, a messenger who moves the hearts. I mean, we believe, Cantors, that somehow the words can somehow get a little deeper in the heart than a ranting speaker. Anyway, so it's natural. So it's natural to see how fortunate this congregation really was, or is, as they had as their cantor a chazan, which we say in Yiddish, with alle miles. Alle miles means with every advantage. The musicianship, the voice, the beauty of the person. And I'm quoting almost in the style, happy were those inspired by her leading in prayer. Happy were those who were young and found a connection to the Jewish people. You see, young people that she took around, that she took to New Orleans, to Washington, somehow that cemented their connection to their people. That's not easy to do. And it's not every clergyman who has that skill, which she did. And there are people, I'm sure, that will remember her always for their roles and for that connection. And so here I am with other people joining you on this special Shabbat. And I want to just close, I want to say the following things. Pardon me. There are things that we can say to Martha, really. Things that are easy to say, I've written some, and things that are hard to say. It's hard to say that we wish you would not leave us. It's hard to say we want more of you. It's hard to say we want you as part of our family events. It's hard to imply a farewell. It's easy to say how grateful we feel for having you been here. It's easy to say how much we love you. It's easy to say how much your presence permeates this building. It's easy to say again how much we love you. But now, Martha, there's an imbalance remaining now and always. We find it hard to say goodbye. Shabbat Shalom.
We have. Thank you, Cantor Abelson. On behalf of the congregation, it's my honor to invite up our temple president, Terry Glass, and our past president and the organizer of all of the Martha celebrations, Marcy Schoenbach, for helping us celebrate the Cantor Novick as our community tonight.
Shabbat Shalom. It never ceases to amaze me when I stand up here and look out what a beautiful, beautiful sight this is. I am so humbled to be one of the co-chairs of Martha's year-long celebration, and I'm eternally grateful to all of you who have been part of the planning, the execution, and the outreach during this year of showing our love and appreciation. I must give a very, very special thank you to the leaders of this effort, and that is Jason Silverfine, Rabbi Prosnett, Jackie Master, Mike Kenny, Gail Friedman, and Rory Nickner, because without you, we would not be here today. And we'll have an opportunity to thank so many more of you over the next few days. You are all so appreciated, so thank you. So now, my personal message of what Martha has meant to me these past years Easier for me to do so in the written word rather than in the spoken. So here's my letter to you. Dear Martha, having been involved in temple life over these past 33 years, I've had a front row seat and the privilege of knowing you for almost your entire tenure here at Temple Emanu-El. I can't even begin to count the memories you have created for my family, but each and every one of them include your warmth, your kindness, your caring, and your being present always. There has not been one moment in the spiritual life of my family that you have not been a part of. Some of my earliest memories include carrying my then 2-year-old into Tiny Tot Shabbat, only to hear your bell-like voice singing the tunes of my childhood and helping to bring me back to those days of Yiddishkeit and the world of my grandparents. Another is carrying yet another 2-year-old into the sanctuary every Friday night, all dressed up for Shabbat, sitting right over there, only to have her fall asleep in my arms, all the while you winking and smiling at us. You will soon be naming her second daughter, God willing. We've worked on countless projects, searches, initiatives, and strategies together. To have been asked to be one of your co-chairs for this beautiful year of celebration will always be one of the highlights of my time at the temple. It has marked our friendship and has culminated in a beautiful, beautiful celebration planned so lovingly by so many. You've been among the largest influences in solidifying my children's Jewish identities and have participated in literally every life cycle event in the Cash family. You have been present for all of the wonderful and all of the painful, and I'm looking forward to the next 36 years bringing much of the same. So let me end by saying that goodbyes are not goodbyes, they're see you soon. Your place in the life of this temple has been cemented in our hearts forever. I'm certain that you will remain a vital part of our lives and our families, and that you will create this next chapter in the same way you did the last, with all of your kindness, your warmth, caring, and being present.
That's a hard act to follow.
So is Cantor Abelson.
True. Very true. So, Shabbat Shalom to all of you as well. So, Martha, from the very first phone call we had over 30 years ago, I have felt your warmth and your love. I have had the privilege of partnering with you for 2 presidencies, as you have led our temple community through an inspirational spiritual journey of worship and song. When I close my eyes and listen to your beautiful Holy Day, Hallelujah, or visualize you beating the drum during the innovative Shabbat Hallelujah service that you introduced to this community, my eyes still fill with tears. You have transformed the way we pray. And during your 36 years at Temple Emanu-El, you have touched so many of us with grace. You have been with us for B'nai Mitzvahs and Simchas and confirmations, and especially during times of sorrow. I know that is what a cantor does, but you did it by making each of our families feel special and cared for. We are so grateful that you always knew just what to say to help us. You have planted a tree in this community whose roots will continue to grow for many, many years to come. We will miss you, and we wanted to give you something to remind you of all your precious time with us. So on behalf of the Temple community, I hope when you wear this gift, it will bring a smile of joy and remind you how much we love and appreciate you. And here, open it. Can you all see it?
Diamond Hudson. The dime that you will carry us in your heart wherever you go. Can we put it on you?
Yeah, let's put it on.
Tomorrow night.
My goodness. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your words. It was amazing. As my Aunt Rose used to say, of blessed memory, I feel like Mrs. Vanderbilt. I want to declare to you that I believe in God. If I ever doubted it, all I have to do is look around me. I am beyond overwhelmed. When I think of what the service represents in my life, I'm nothing short of numb and on the edge of tears every minute. You see, I've spent the last number of years devoting my life to you. If I ever doubted, which I don't, that God is the force that makes me who I am, all I have to do is look at you. All I have to do is remember all of the B'nai Mitzvah, well more than 3,000 who stood on the bima with me. All I have to do is remember all the weddings and baby namings. All I have to remember is what you mean to me. And I'm overwhelmed beyond words, beyond my wildest imagination. Who could be so blessed? Let me tell you about the blessings I've had. First and foremost, I have to tell you about my life's encounter with Rabbi Kroloff. By the way, I still can't get used to calling him Chuck. I had the privilege, the great privilege, of being his cantor. Not only did I learn so much from him, but because of him, my career took on another life. I was catapulted into the forefront of Reform Judaism. I remember when Chuck was installed as president of the Central Conference of American Rabbis in Pittsburgh. I was so proud of him. And of course, I became known as Chuck Kroloff's cantor, and that was fine with me. This was my calling card, my yichus, my claim to fame. The truth is that I understood long before that I was blessed. You see, Chuck was truly my boss. At times I was almost afraid of him, but actually I revered him. His sermons and his proclivity for social action were nothing short of prophetic. Every sermon was a masterpiece. He demanded excellence. I had to wonder if I was capable of being the cantor he wanted me to be. It wasn't always easy, but I think because of Chuck, Rabbi Kroloff, I was able to fulfill his destiny. Chuck, you are my rabbi in every sense of the word. I could never, ever imagine my life without you. Your guidance, your love for me and my family. By the way, my parents of blessed memory loved you and Terry, and you always made them feel so special.
It meant so much to me, as you always have made a point to approve of what I did. You would always say that I was so strong to the end of the Elah. This is actually Terry's. And that made me feel so special. I love you both, and I thank you both for your dear friendship and mentorship. It has been priceless to me. Now I turn to Rabbi Posnet. I called him our fearless leader. I never doubted for 1 second that you would be a great rabbi. Never. Through difficult times, you've led our congregation to new heights, making me wear a dreidel costume. That was not what I had envisioned for my later years in our congregation as a dignified cantor. But I loved every minute of it. It was so silly. And it kept me warm during our freezing Hanukkah celebrations outside. Rabbi Posnet loves it. Outside. Because I love you, I complied. Beyond the dreidel costume, I've watched you grow into the most incredible and awe-inspiring rabbi. You well know that I adore your father, Jim Posnet. He is a rabbi's rabbi, a former friend and former student at HUC. You have gleaned all that he has offered you and taken us to new heights. You are so caring, so loving, which extends not only to me, but to all of us. And you're married to an incredible woman, Ariel. Although staff meetings are really kind of boring to me, sorry, I tolerate them because you have a vision, and that vision is exactly what we need to grow and thrive. It's something in your DNA that gleans what will lead this congregation to greatness. I delight in you and all that you mean to me. I truly love you, and I always will. Great leadership has been the hallmark of our congregation. Tonight, I would like to pay tribute to all of the past presidents and thank them for devoting their years of service and sacrifice given to the temple. So many of you have become my dear friends. Your guidance and your love have meant so much to me, and I am so grateful to all of you. I'd like you now to stand if you're here, or if you're home. Wow. Amazing. Thank you. Terry, my dear and old friend, from your first presidency to this presidency, you have always had the foresight to lead us with integrity. You have a sense of intuition that goes beyond most people. When you were recruited to be our president during a most difficult time, I said to myself, thank God, because if anyone could bring us back, it was you. We share a love that goes back many decades, as you said, and I was comforted to know that you were there for us when we needed you the most. You are my dear friend, and I will always be grateful to you. Where do I go next? Well, Victor, you've won the spot for bringing so much love and levity into our lives. I've always admired you from afar. When you came into our midst, I knew your presence as a rabbi would create so much integrity in the pursuit of social justice, and so much fun to be your neighbor. You've enriched the lives of so many, and are a role model for those who seek different paths in life. You are a love, and passing by your office each day is something I look forward to. You are my fashion consultant. We love Brooks Brothers. You've become a dear friend to me, Victor, and I will always cherish the time we've spent together. You gave me, the resident Cosmo expert, a book on the art of creating cocktails. So we're not done, my friend, by any measure. I've got plans for you, Colin, and me. My dear and beloved Ilana, God sent you to me. Actually, Gabby, Cantor Martha sent you to me. I was Gabby's mentor. Gabby was Ilana's mentor. In the chain of mentorship and love, you landed in my life. Ilana, you are an extraordinary soul. I've never known anyone quite like you. Since the day you came, I've been comforted by your love. Intuitively, you knew that this would be a difficult year for me. You understood what I was feeling, and every day you cared enough to make sure I was okay. You know I wasn't okay, that this last year would be so hard, even if you've never experienced it. But you knew, and you gave me so much love and so much care. I was so comforted by you. You have a unique gift, not only for me, but for anyone who has crossed your path. Just to let you know, I'm officially declaring my auntyhood when this blessed child is born. You are a keeper, my love. Alex, too, and our congregation is so blessed. Jill, I have known you for so many years, and I've watched you grow and thrive over these last many years. You've been an amazing friend to me, always there. You've done an exceptional job. The ECE continues to grow and thrive under your stellar leadership. I know last year was incredibly stressful for you, but you stuck it out with great strength while many of us were at home in our pajama bottoms. I love the sign outside by the playground this past year that said, "We did it." Yes, Jill, you did, and with such grace. We are so blessed to have you. Yetta. I know Yetta's right there. I've known Yetta most of my adult life. Yetta has been a teacher in our religious school for many years. But Yetta has become my partner in teaching the B'nai Mitzvah. And these kids love her. Sometimes it gets a little loud, but only. But I love you, Yetta, and I'm so blessed that we had the chance to work together, and now we're best friends. And that's the best part of it. Thank you for all you do for our children. I've made such meaningful relationships with our temple staff. They are my buddies. Carol, we've been together for so many years. You were always there for me, and you have always been my dear friend. I cherish our relationship, which will never end, ever. Bless you for all you have given to me over the years. These last couple of months, whenever I walk into the office, I hear whispers. I know why, and I quickly make my exit. I smile. Jackie Master, I know how hard you have worked on this weekend, and I thank you with all my heart. We've had a wonderful friendship for so many years. Jackie Brescott has been my fashion consultant as well, makeup consultant, and dear friend. You have helped our temple grow and thrive. And I hope my makeup this weekend meets your approval. I do love you. Joanne, we've known each other for a long time. Your teaching expertise and administrative prowess have made our B'nai Mitzvah program a huge success. You have the patience of a saint, my dear friend. You have always stuck by me, and I know you always will. We love Public House. That's our watering hole. Thank you. Lori Zindberg, who many of you have gotten to know through happy times and very difficult moments in your lives. Lori, you have been a saint, a saint. Our members rely on you, count on you for comfort and all that needs to be done during difficult times. And you do it with such grace. You are my dear friend. We've known each other for many years, but especially these last years when you came to Temple have been so special for me. Thank you, Lori. Jason, you are a gift to our congregation. You have done such a wonderful job since you came. Of course, I particularly delight in the fact that you are married to Paige, my former bat mitzvah student. That connection means a great deal to me. I wish you all the best. The temple is in good hands with you, and thank you for all you've done to help create this special week. Emily Halpern, who could ever say enough about you? I have never met anyone quite like you. Every time you come to visit, you brighten my day. Of course, you want my chocolate, but I need those Emily visits to keep me going. You are a bright star to the kids in our temple. They all love you. I totally get it. You will become an amazing leader in education, but most of all, we will always be connected in dear friendship. Jackie Hernandez, you and I have been through it all. Your constant love and loyalty is something I will never, ever forget. Samara, you had a tough challenge when you first came to Temple as our religious school director. The students stuck with you and you continue to enhance their lives. I used to hate religious school when I was a kid. That's true. I spent half of my time in the principal's office. It's true. And the first sentence I learned in Hebrew was, Ani rotza latzet. I want to go out. The teacher said, go out. Our kids love it here. Samara, they really love it here. Kathleen, you take such good care of all of us, and you are outstanding as our controller. Everyone knows of your greatness. Our daily visits checking in on each other have always meant so much to me. You are a true friend. And also a special thanks to Melissa Kenny. Yes, she's related to the Kenny dynasty. For her hard work and her warming smile. Before I pay tribute to my dear friend, I want to thank Mike's staff for always making me feel special. Anything I ask of you is done in a flash and always with a smile. I really love seeing all of you every day. A special thank you to Mike, Junior, Brandon, Joe, and Angel. Mikey, I always told my parents that I wanted a brother. It's true. I thought it would be really cool to have one, somebody I could play with. I was a pretty stellar athlete. Well, that never happened. But 32 years ago, I found my brother. His name was Mike Kenny. You can't imagine the kind of relationship and closeness that we've shared for all of these years. I've heard it said that some kids in the religious school think you're God. I totally get it. Mike, you are godlike with your generosity and your loving ways. not only to me, but to every child who comes through these doors. Mike! What about me? Knowing him as I do, I'm not surprised. Mike has an aura, a spirit of love for this temple that everyone feels. He may not be God, but his soul is filled with love for you and for me. He is the brother I never had. Thank God for you, Mike. I love you. Marcy Schoenbach. How could I ever possibly thank you for creating this amazing year? You have been my anchor and my dear close friend throughout the years. I trust you like no other. I love you and Michael and your whole family, which grows minute by minute. I hope that will never change. We're so blessed to have you as one of our presidents, but mostly my dear, dear friend. Lori and Gail, this weekend, which is almost half over, has been coming for a long time, and you have spent so many hours and days planning this awesome weekend. Both of you have been working on making this so special for me for many months. I know it is born out of love for each other. What makes it even more special is that I can't wait to party tomorrow night. I promise I'll have something to eat, Lori, before I have my first Cantor's Cosmo. There is a quote written by Rav Kook, a brilliant rabbi and scholar. When I read it, I think of Cantor Abelson and all he has taught me. There is one who sings the song of his own life, and in himself finds everything, his spiritual satisfaction. There is another who sings the song of his people. He aspires toward the heights, and he attaches himself with a gentle love to the whole community of Israel. Together with her, he sings her songs. They are the sounds of joy and gladness, sounds of jubilation and celebration, sounds of ecstasy and holiness. And this song rises to become the song of holiness, the song of God, the song of Israel in all its strength, in all its beauty. Bob, my malach, my angel, I could never ever thank you for all that you've done for me in my life as a cantor. With every note, every prayer I sing, I always wonder if you would think it's good enough. That's true. You were my teacher and coach at HUC, and you were responsible for making my career filled with melodies and praise of God. You always said to me, don't get caught singing. What? That's a funny thing to say to a cantor, but how wise you were, and still are. That's what made you such a great cantor and artist. It's so funny because you, Carol, and I are so close, and you know me, love me, and care so much about my life as a cantor. My parents loved you and Carol, a golden friendship which was one of the greatest joys of my life to see. My kids adore you, both, even with your corny jokes. But tonight, at the end of my career, I bless you for all you have done for me, Bob. I would never be here for this many years without you. Now I'll be on my own forging a new life. But I live with the great satisfaction that you and Carol have always been there for me, and I love you beyond words. Yabi, it was Basher that we are bound together for life. You saw my picture in the New York Times down in North Carolina, and you contacted me about getting into Hebrew Union College. At our first meeting, after I had come home from the hospital, you came to give me a facial. It was the first time we ever met. I said, where did this person come from? That's something I will never even try to figure out because you became my little sister. Our families with John became so close, to me and my children and my parents. There will always and still is this air of intense bonding and unconditional love that will last forever. I am so proud of the Cantor you have become, but most of all, I thank God. And to my wonderful choir, and to Nick, what a blessing. You have always been my family here. You have been my anchor for so many years. Rehearsing with you all these years can be a little challenging at times. Not really. But on the other hand, you are all a joy to me in every sense of the word. Having you by my side is an indescribable feeling. During services, we sing as one. In what you do, you are instruments of God. Your voices reach God, I'm sure of it. I love you all, and I thank you for always being by my side. And to Nick, my life would never be as rich without you. You're my dear friend, my partner, and we've made beautiful music together. Before I conclude, I can't leave out the most gratifying aspect of my work, which I briefly mentioned before. Our B'nai Mitzvah. After 36 years, you can probably guess by way of mathematics that I've taught more than 3,000 children, many who've become confirmed. My goal was to give them an unforgettable experience. Each time a child left my study and said, "Thank you, Cantor," I was so moved by that kind of gesture. I wanted them to work hard, but I didn't want them to struggle, and they knew it. Standing on the bima beside each of them, I felt as if I was giving birth. When they came back for Hamakom Tuesday night school, I wanted to hug each one of them for their commitment to continuing their Jewish experience. Watching confirmands in Washington, D.C. being transformed over one long weekend, standing before our representatives, congressmen and senators, and their aides, pleading for causes they believed in. And then traveling to New Orleans, post-Katrina, with my high school students for the last 14 years, save a couple of years in between, who selflessly gave their hearts and energy to making a difference in the lives of the residents of the 9th and 7th wards. I was never more proud. All of these children and teens have uplifted my soul beyond words. Tonight, I'm so proud to be a part of their lives. I will never forget what they have given to me, a bright hope for our future. Now I have to say lehitraot to all of you. I will see you later. I promise. I've come to love this congregation, all of you, with the full breadth of my heart. Do you want to cry? You think I've given to you, but the truth is, you've given me the greatest gift I could ever dream of getting. Your love, your trust. It has shown itself in many different ways over the last 36 years. I've always said, really, that I'm the luckiest Cantor in the world. That's because you made me feel that way. I've shared so much with you and your children over the years. I didn't see the page. Your confidence in me has made me feel whole and blessed to know each of you. My children, Abby and Seth, whom I will speak about tomorrow night, have always understood why I have been so happy being your cantor. They would see it every night when I would come home. And that makes it all worth it. I'm not leaving my beloved congregation. I could never leave you. I'm just stepping aside to welcome a new and exciting era into our congregation. You are in good hands. But if you ever need to grab a bagel and schmear, I'm your girl. God bless all of you.
So Cantor Novick, we get to bless you as well as you have blessed us for these 36 years. I'm going to invite the congregation to rise as we open the ark. So, Rabbi Korloff is going to share a word with all of us. The choir might need to sit because we're in the.
Dear Martha, you have spent most of your life offering blessings for others, for young and old, for healthy and sick, at times of joy and sadness, for family and friends, for Jews and for all of God's children. Now, Martha, it's time for us to bless you. At this moment, I'm going to pause and invite everyone in the sanctuary and virtually to offer you their 30-second silence blessing. And when you see Martha later tonight or tomorrow or by email, you might share your blessing with her directly, which I will do now. Martha, Yivarech Adonai, may God bless you with many years of good health, robust in body and spirit. May God bless you with outrageously joyful times with your loving family. As they flourish, so may you flourish. May blessings come to you from your travels and your books. As they multiply, so may you embrace life in its fullness, as you do so well. May blessing flow from your friendships, far and near. They will change, and they will deepen, and as they do, so may your radiance brighten many lives. May blessings stream from your good deeds as you uplift many souls with Maaseh Tzedek, your righteous acts. With those acts, may the world around you grow more humane. May music continue to animate your spirit, and may your infectious smile cause all of us to smile with you again and again. Martha, your reverent voice and your compassionate spirit have brought us closer to the divine. May your ongoing, unceasing presence with us and our presence with you, may they together strengthen our belief that God does dwell among us. that God does dwell between us, and that God does dwell within us. Amen.
Amen. We'll remain standing for Our Lady.
Aleinu l'shameach l'Adon b'Adon, Atei Gidula Yotzer Bereshit, Shemo Asarim Kikli Haratzon, Beno Samanu Mishpachot Ha'adama, Shemo Samchem Keinu Kahem, Vekol Aleinu,
Please be seated. Page 591. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And light up the universe with joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Even in joyous times, we remember those who have died in this season in years past, and those who have died in our community in the past 30 days. If you hear the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise and remain standing. In this period of Shloshim, we remember Herbert Herman, Enrique Kozinch, father of Erica, Bert Fields, father of Leslie, Shirley Sulam, grandmother of Nicole Breslow, Sarah Williams, aunt of Adele Schaffman, Laura Feldman, mother of Terry Hodera, Stephen Baker, husband of Marjorie, Lowell Schur, father of Jill Kaufman, Helen Sensel, mother of Rabbi Bennett Miller. We also remember Edward Neese, brother-in-law of Susan Dixon, who has died but not yet been buried. We also remember the yahrzeit, the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths. Frida Bauk, Dorothy Berenson, Morris Blakesberg, Nathan Brown, Marna Burkhart, Ethel Damson, Martin Leonard DeVos, Harry Erich, Henrietta Erich, Ida Eisenberg, Mo Farber, Lawrence Fine, Vivian Finkel, Gerald Gelber, Rebecca Goldman, Mayor Goldstein, Ida Grant, Anne Marie Guerrero, Sanford Gutentag, Kay Herman, Fred Holtzman, Arnold Holtzman, Francis Hudson, Patricia Hudson, Herb Jarecki, Jack Kessler, Verna Lemberg, Ruth Listman, Paul Lobel, Joseph Manuel Matthews, Robert Napak, Susan Nathanson, Margaret Nauhauser, Louis Neubauer, Seymour Ogren, Merrill Pollock, Diane Rafe, Bess Reichman, Irving Samuels, Libby Savin, Daniel George Schaufman, Kenneth Schuster, Alfred Schwartz, Kenneth Schaffman, Lillian Silkowitz, Mo Steinberg, Estelle Tasman, Bertha Thau, Louis Turk, Ruth Waksberg, Max Waxerman, Nathan Waxy, Louis Wurtzel, Armin Zavaro, and Arthur Zemmel. If you are in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise. If you are remembering someone tonight, I invite you to say their names now. Sacred Solidarity, we turn to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Please rise. Yikada v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad v'rach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayachon u'b'yomechon u'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karim v'yemru amen, Yehei shemei Rabbah v'barach v'elam amei amaya, Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei t'kudashah v'richu, Le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran v'yama v'yibru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yibru amen. Osei shalom b'bromam, v'yasei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yibru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all of Israel. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Our festivities continue tonight outside in our parking lot under the stars, under our tents, for a really festive oneg with prosecco and champagne and cookies and lots of opportunity to gather and say mazel tov to Cantor Novick, to say thank you for everything that you have done. Tomorrow morning, we have Saturday morning minyan and the Holy Scrollers, as well as Simchat Shabbat in the morning as well. And those who have RSVP'd, we can't wait to be with you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock outside, and our program will begin around 7:30 inside as well to continue the celebration of Cantor Martha Novick. Our closing song can be found on your handouts in the back of the page.
Before I close, I left something out, something very important. Here you go.
Oh, I like it. To my dear friends, Rob and Barry, I wrote something here, but I don't know what I did with it. I mean, it's here. But welcome back, Rob. It was so great to have you tonight. Thank you for being here. Barry, you have been such an amazing friend. You've taught me so much. You have enabled me to open my eyes to a different world of Jewish music. Make a mean sangria. White sangria. Stanley, our friendship has just been one of the most incredible experiences of my lifetime. Thank you for all that you've done for me and for our congregation. They all love your playing so much, your clarinet brightened their lives. And my bar mitzvah boy, Ben. Yay! There. Thanks for always being here. Sturge, faithful friend. Your jokes are, thank you. And Jerry, thank you so much for being here all the time. That's it, okay.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.